Firestarter is yet another movie based on a Stephen King novel, though interestingly enough, it wasn't originally a novel. It first appeared in Omni magazine. Though it's not so unusual for King to publish in magazines, most of his short stories up to this point started there, this was a much longer tale that was serialized over the course of many issues. The entire tale was put together in novel form in 1980. The story is about a man and his daughter on the run from nefarious government agents who want to capture them for experimentations. Years ago, the man, Andy McGee, and his wife participated in a government experiment where they were given a drug similar to LSD. It gave both of them psychic powers. Andrew was able to mentally dominate people, while his wife was able to do some very low-level telekinesis. They were more or less left alone by the government until it was discovered that they passed something on to their daughter, who is much more powerful than them. She has the ability of pyrokinesis. The government sees her as a threat. Although she can only create fires, they believe that as her body matures, she'll become increasingly dangerous, perhaps even a worldwide threat. Andrew and Charlene, who is called Charlie throughout the book for whatever reason, are eventually captured by the government and brought to the shop. Eventually, they attempt to escape, though Andrew is killed in the struggle. Charlie escapes and tells her story to the media to gain safety. The movie version is pretty much faithful with only minor differences, though a few of them bug me. More on that in a bit. There's some good star power here. Charlie is played by a young Drew Barrymore. This is only her third film role. Previously she had been in Altered States and E.T., but she does a great job. I guess the little tyke wasn't downing too many cocktails between shots yet. George C. Scott is also in it as the assassin, John Rainbird. Heather Locklear plays Charlie's mother, and Martin Sheen plays Captain Hollister, head of the shop. Interesting. He was just in the dead zone as a bad guy there, too. Both of these novels and films mention the shop. Although it's pretty common now to find loads of connections between Stephen King's movies and books, this was kind of interesting at the time. Anyway, the film is quite good. It's got great acting, and the film's score helps a lot. The best actor in it is clearly George C. Scott, though Drew Barrymore and Martin Sheen don't disappoint. The special effects are decent. All they really had to do was make fire, though I think it's pretty odd that Charlie's hair has to start blowing around to show she's using her powers. This even happens indoors. Her dad just gets a dopey sound effect when he uses his. Some of the differences from the novel are fairly understandable, and most of them pretty minor, but there are a handful that are strange. One is where Andy sends out a bunch of letters to the media and the government intercepts them. In the novel, Rainbird just steals the mailman's bag, which makes perfect sense. But in the movie, he kills the guy. Why kill the guy? It doesn't make any sense and would only complicate things. Another is the ending, where Charlie brings her story to the New York Times. In the novel, they had made a big deal about how most major publications have government ties, and that they wouldn't be safe. And Charlie went to Rolling Stone, as they were a worldwide popular magazine with no such ties. One weird thing was that in both the book and the movie, before they get captured, they use their powers to somehow get quarters out of a payphone. In the book, Charlie does this, and in the film, it's Andy. But neither makes sense to me. I don't know how pyrokinesis would make quarters cascade out of a payphone, but at least it's a physical reaction. It makes even less sense for mental domination powers to do this. Despite these nitpicks, there really isn't anything wrong with the film. I just felt like mentioning those things because they're so weird to me. This is one of the better kind of adaptations for its time, and it's never been remade, probably because there really isn't much reason to. There was a sequel that was aired on the Sci-Fi Channel, Firestarter 2 Rekindled, but I've never seen it, and honestly, I kinda don't want to. I give Firestarter a 9 out of a possible 10.